I'll be sharing my screen. So I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, ma'am. Perfect.
All right. Yeah. So for this session, like Sneha has mentioned, I've been working in data science industry for a total of 7 years of experience. And for this session, I would like to look into give a broad perspective of what is data science industry, as well as what the students can expect out of it. And because when you would go into a data science industry, it shouldn't be like something that you're not aware of. So that's why the session is all about the 360-degree view of data science industry. So just about me. So like already mentioned, I've been working in the field for 7 years, and I've also been a blogger on data science, and also been a core Verizon volunteer and a global ambassador for Women in Tech Network. So you can follow me in these social media platforms, and I am kind of very well reciprocative on social media platforms as well. So, so for that, the agenda for the session is basically I'll be telling on the background, what is data science, and what's the skill set that you will need to enter into the data science industry, and what are the data science and analytics continuum and top industries, and the job title and demand. And from the hiring perspective, I would like to give some tips on what they are looking for from people who are kind of getting into the industry, and what are the pros and cons, and what has to be focused upon. So these are the agenda for this session today. So the background is obviously data science is a very vast field. Like it's not just building machine learning model, right? It's just you'll have to look into data, and you have to basically get insights, knowledge from the raw data, and this data is then being presented to your stakeholders, that is the clients whom you are serving in an industry. So they basically they wanted to know what can be done in a company to bring profit for their company. So that's when we as a data scientist come into picture. We do all the data techniques like cleaning, uh, manipulating, and building machine learning models to basically tell them what has to be done for the next few coming years. So that's the basic background of what is data science. And it's a very vast field. Not everybody if it's basically your passion, then this is definitely your a good industry to get into. So that's the overall background of this data science. And when we talk about the knowledge and skill set, so the knowledge and skill set is basically you need to have a quantitative field of study. So quantitative field is like some a basic level of mathematics and coding abilities is needed to enter into this data science industry. And the technical skills would be obviously Python and R. Predominantly Python has been used in every companies, and SQL is one of the main skill that we all look into in recruiting people, as well as statistics and machine learning concepts. And other than that, we also look into the domain knowledge in the sense we would like to see how people know about the business knowledge in terms of finance, in terms of healthcare and telecommunication. And another part of skills that is been looked upon and also been worked every day to day basis in a data science employee is data visualization skill. So we are not just going to give data in a raw format to the clients, right? So we have to present it in such a way that it's easy for them to catch the key point. So that's when the data visualization happens, is been very talked upon. And the most important part is the communication skills. You have to have the ability to communicate your technical concepts to a stakeholder in a without any business acumen. So basically you need to like have the communication skills to convey your message through to the stakeholders. So these are the knowledge and skill set required. So the data and science and analytics continuum consists of five divisions. So these are the five divisions, which is the descriptive analytics. So basically, descriptive analytics is something that you look into the historical data, and you also see how the products have been performing in the past. So that's the descriptive analytics. You just wanted to see how, for example, in a telecommunication, like I work in Verizon, so we basically look into how a customer is been how an offer has been performing for a customer. So that's the past history that we look into. And diagnostic analytics is we look into the historical data and we may try to make sense of the data through exploratory methods. Like we wanted to see the average count of users using the offers and campaigns. So that is kind of a exploratory analysis that we do for the each and every department. So that's diagnostic analytics. And predictive analytics is basically the machine learning part. So you basically use the historical data to predict the futures. For example, I want to just predict if the customers are going to leave the particular offer or not. So that's kind of a predictive analytics where I'm seeing the future. So that's predictive analytics. And prescriptive analytics is basically we are kind of trying to look into the data and find patterns to determine the insights and recommendations that can be done later. So that is the prescriptive analytics. And the another thing that every industries or every people outside the industry does not look upon is uh, preemptive analytics. So preemptive analytics is basically looking into data and see what step has to be taken to basically the prevent from opting out of specific action. So basically, we as a organization wanted to see what the data shows us, wherein the customers do not take the step, like for example churning out or coming opting out of a campaign and offer. So that's basically a loss for a company. So we wanted to also look into that kind of perspective, so that we are like well good in our offers or any campaigns that we are rolling out to the customers. So this is another analytics which are not lot talked upon, but the whole data science and analytics is uh, comprised upon these few these five continents. And yeah, and with respect to top industries, I would like to say it's not limited. These are just a few industries that I would like to mention, but that it's a data science is like coming up, booming up in every industries right now, and people are like organizations are like trying to learn their data. So some of the industries I would like to point out is the banking and finance. And in this domain you can definitely see how data science is being used. So data science is basically used in finance for fraud detection, for lifetime value prediction, as well as they wanted to see how the revenue forecast has been tracked. So that is some of the use cases being used for banking and finance sector. And telecommunication, like I said, I currently work in a telecommunication company, Verizon. And in the company, we basically look into product innovation, customer service, and targeted campaigns. So these are the main sectors that we look under telecommunication. We basically wanted to drive the customers and provide the best service possible to the customers. So this is the in the sectors that we focus in telecommunication industry. And for healthcare, obviously it's a very important field, and most of the breakthroughs happen in healthcare industry. And a lot of it is like solving finding the detection of tumors, cancers, and any diseases, or also as well as predicting what the a patient is likely to get cured or not. So that those are kind of the use cases that we can also solve in healthcare industry. And environmental industry, like everyone is aware of, climate change is a huge issue for every one of us. So this industry sector is kind of looking into more of data scientists help in kind of forecasting rainfall, kind of forecasting the weather. So those are the things that these are the top five in four industries that basically wanted the help of data scientists. And other than that, there are a lot of use of AI and NLP techniques in place for the business to basically build build in platforms to empower the business. So end of the day, it's all going to be business decisions, and we are the ones who make it easy for them, and in terms of techniques. So these are the overall idea of what the industries look like in terms of applying data science techniques. And with respect to job titles and job demands, so something that I wanted to convey to every students out here and professionals who's looking into entering data science is job titles vary a lot, because not everybody calls themselves as data scientists. Some of them are analyst, and some of them are just a BI analyst, data visualization engineer, or ML engineer. So these are the titles vary a lot, but the thing is the responsibility and roles quite it's basically the same. End of the day, you are going to look into a raw data, you are going to bring in insights or recommend to your stakeholders, and further on look into how you can build a machine learning or predictive analytics onto the data to see what can be done in future. So never ever look into a job opportunity just because it's a data science title. There are a lot of vast positions open, but having the same roles and responsibilities. So that's the only thing that I wanted to also convey with respect to job titles. And with respect to job demands, definitely data science is not going anywhere. It's like booming still now. I've been here for 7 years in the industry, and still we are looking for people entering into the industry. And with respect to the medias, we can see that there will be about 11.5 million jobs created by 2026. So uh, this demand is not going to go anywhere, but the the filtering process is more improved, because earlier it was kind of people were not looking much into the skills, but now the interview process has been improved such that they wanted to only take people with specific skills and abilities. So the job demand is still available, and it's still the most sought after jobs. And with the hiring perspective, so I've been in the both the end. I've interviewed people for the organization, as well as I've been a candidate as well. So with respect to my experience, I would like to point out few points that would help you all. Is the coding perspective. So basically, data scientists are not software engineers. I do not believe that, because I believe that in total, because software engineers code a lot, they design systems, but data scientists are just they only code only to look into data. We don't design any system other than ML ops. But we only need to see coding in the terms of extracting data, manipulating data, and then getting insights. That's the only code that we are going to do. And other than that, another coding thing that we very much look into is SQL. SQL is like the uh, basic skill that we all wanted to look into. So if you are very well top performer in SQL, then definitely you will be you're passing the first two rounds of the data science interview. And another set of rounds that basically happen is the product sense round. So this is basically a round where they talk talk through a product, and they wanted to look into how your perspective of the product will be. Like for example, if you want if there is a dip in Instagram engagement, what would be the reason? So that could be one of the question. But they wanted to basically look into how you think in term analytical thinking in terms of product sense. So that's one of the thing that I wanted to share. This is one of the peculiar round that been used upon now. And some of the source that I mentioned here is for product sense. The book is The Data Science Interview by Nick Singh and Kevin Ho. It's the best book actually. I've been I read the book, and I've also provided review on the book, and it helped me through my interview process as well. So I was taking up interviews recently in my own organization, so it helped me a lot in understanding what the interviewers are looking upon, as well as how as a candidate can perform better. So that book is really good. And another thing that we also look is the statistics. Like we do A/B testing, we do hypothesis testing every time when we get data, and in if we need it. And that skill is also is very much in need. And the one book that I would like to mention is The Elements of Statistic. That book is very vast, but I've heard people saying good about that book. So definitely good, go check out the book. And the final round will every time be a case study round. And basically, a case study round is similar to a product sense round. So it's kind of a conversational interview, and you basically have to like you will be given a scenario, a problem statement, and you'll have to think through it and arrive at an answer and provide insight. So it's basically a conversational, not a Q&A session. So these are the interview steps that I have been faced when I was a candidate, and as well as when I was hiring people to the organization. So uh, only these things are enough, not a high level technical is not required. All we wanted to know is if you can think critically and analytically. So that's the only thing that we want, and you will be all good. And another one thing that every people have a confusion is to join a startup or a big tech. And working in both startup and a big tech company, I can find out what were the pros and cons between them. Because prior to Verizon, I worked in a startup called Platinum View Analytics, Chennai. And in the analytics field there, I was having the luxury of communicating with the leaders oftentimes. So, but in your big tech companies, you are not going to talk with your leaders that often, because the stream is kind of a distributed manner. You will only be talking to your managers, or you will be talking to your senior managers. Other than that, you don't get the opportunity to talk to your leaders. But in startup, you can work on many projects. You have the scope of understanding a project from top to bottom, rather than a big tech company where you will be given a assigned task and finish it and then go for a next task. So that's how the difference is. But the perks is that sometimes startups do not provide the lucrative salary, right? So big techs provide in terms of salary perspective, they're right, they're very good. And it depends on an individual who they wanted to learn, or like if they wanted, if they're looking for a passion in expanding their learning curve, then they could definitely go into startup and then move in, later on move into big tech. And that's what I did basically. Because when I started up in data analytics and data science through a startup company, and then I moved on to a big tech company. So it actually helped me to learn the overall process of a project. And now when I'm into a data telecommunication, where like company called Verizon, I'm now able to understand what a project pipeline is, and how people is getting involved in a project, and how my task is relevant to the business. So that's how I did. And this is just a perspective. In everybody has their own decision. So I'm just keeping out for the people to learn better. Okay, so another pros and cons of data science is pros is definitely the high demand and the higher paid career, and also abundant of positions. But the cons is basically we need a lot of domain knowledge is required. Because for us, for a fresher, I know very well that people who are coming out of college do not have the domain knowledge. So basically what we organization people, we basically want people to look into is take a domain knowledge that you are interested. For example, healthcare or finance, which are interested, do some projects out of it, like side projects, build a portfolio, and show that you are aware of the industry. So that that's what basically people want to look into. Because they don't want waste their time to educate, right? So if you know already the basics of healthcare industry, it's you have the uh, perks of getting ahead into interviews. And that's the one of the cons. Basically domain knowledge is important. And the job titles vary. Do not go by job titles, because job titles are very ambiguous. It's kind of confusing at a lot of times. So and I'm a data scientist, but sometimes my title would be different. So it only depends on the roles and responsibility. If you're building machine learning, or if you're serving your customers, then that's what you wanted to do, then you're all good. And this industry requires constant learning. As I said earlier, data science is evolving in rapid speed. So you need to be on par of it. Because just learning Python, just learning SQL will not be enough. Because now things have been changing, AI is coming into platform. So you will have to be in a position to constantly learn and move ahead in your career. So if that's okay with you, then definitely data science is your place. So that's these are the things that I've seen with my experience in data science industry. Yeah, so something that I wanted to focus on in data science industry is data science is not basically just building machine learning model and just deploying it into the server. So what we wanted to basically serve is in a company, for example, Verizon. I can talk in terms of Verizon. In terms of Verizon, I worked in basic in B2B service as well as in B2C service as well. So in B2B service, we wanted to basically serve the business here. So in terms of business, we wanted to see how our product is being utilized by the business and how we can innovate there. So in terms of that, we wanted to always serve the customer. So uh, when you serve the customer, you only wanted to look into the customer journey, and with respect to the journey, we are going to do the data science. It's not the other way around. So definitely, what the company is looking into is not the machine learning model. We are only going to serve the business or the customer. So that's the thing that I wanted to show, because in every when I started my career, I thought I only in technical perspective. I just thought, okay, I get to build a machine learning model. That's going to be cool, but that's not it. You have to think in terms of a customer, because uh, we all of us are customer in one point of time, right? So we all wanted a great service. So if that is what we are giving to the company, and then that's what all of us wanted. So that's something that I wanted to share, because this realization happened to me as well, and I wanted every one of you guys to know that in the end, it's all the customer as well as the business that has to be served better. And some of the data science trends that are happening in this year is a lot of the organizations are looking into cloud-based AI and data solutions. So basically, data solutions in a data science project, we know the steps, right? That is data cleaning, data manipulating, formatting, and then looking into insights. So this has been a huge issue for a large volume of data. So now the industry is looking into, the organizations are looking into building the cloud based AI solution, so that everything, all of these things can be done by done in cloud, and then could be served better. So that's one of the trend I look forward to in this industry. And the second is similar to what I spoke earlier, is the customer personalization. So basically, all the businesses are online. So going forward, it's only going to be online. Like Corona is one of the huge example for it. So for that perspective, organizations are like going to look into the customers personalization through online offers or online campaigns. So they basically wanted to expand that learning horizon, and see how data science fits into it, and that's going to be a huge effort from the organization point of view. And another more emphasis I would like to give is the decision intelligence. So end of the day, we are giving insights to the stakeholder. End of the day, they are the ones who take decisions out of it. So more of it is going to get extended in this upcoming years, because emphasis is going to be on the decision rather than the techniques used. And you can arrive at a good decision using a simple technique, right? So uh, end of the day, I'm looking forward to a place where organizations are looking more into a decision oriented intelligence, as rather than just a technical oriented. So these are the things that I look forward in a data science industry in coming years. So that's all I have for this session. So in my 7 years of experience, these are the four things that I had actually, because earlier I did not get a right project to work in as per data science. I was like put into data analytics, then I had to work on other data visualization. So you need to like learn yourself, be consistent with your preparation, and have the patience and passion towards it. If you have passion towards what you're doing, definitely you'll reach into that platform. So this is something that I wanted to quote to all students, because I was not given this awareness. So yeah, that's the end of my session.
Okay, so participants, if you have any queries, you can please ask now. So this is like a one-time opportunity. You wouldn't be finding anyone here, so you may please ask the doubts if you have any here. So I think the session was so clear that students don't have any doubts. Ms. Nima, we thank you so much for taking your time and effort and clarifying so much on data science. Thank you so much.
Thank
We
you.
are so happy to have you here.
Thank you, Divya. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you for the opportunity, and I wish everyone all the best for the upcoming future endeavors.
Yeah. So, and for the participants, thank you so much. You can now.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Bye.